Folks, here at OSReviews.com. Today we're taking a look at multiple Crayola Glow Explosion products. These are an interesting set from Crayola, and they create glow-in-the-dark artistic projects for your kids and younger audiences, but it also create pretty cool nightlight effects if you're decorating your room or the such. The first device we're going to take a look at is the Glow Explosion. This is the Spin Magic, and this allows you to have this little dock that spins around. It requires a battery, and it provides an effect that's theoretically pretty cool and very similar to a nightlight that's actually animated and moving back and forth. As you can see here, there's different sceneries, and of course you can create different models and the such. Now these Glow Explosion sets are not cheap. They come at retail value of around $20 each, which it's okay on paper. However, the glow effect on these devices only lasts around 4 hours, so it's a very limited amount of time, very similar to those glow sticks, and they run out afterwards, and unfortunately you can't reuse them even if your marker still has juice in it. It's very similar to, again, Crayola's color explosion sets that has this black paper where you color on it and the color comes out. It's another part of their explosion lineup, but it's a one-time use product and you can't reuse it even if, again, the marker here still has ink, even though we no longer have the paper available. So the first version here is probably the most technologically interesting, again, with that rotational stand, and it comes with these different markers that glow in the dark, glow markers, activator marker, and 10 sheets of glow paper, and also 5 sheets of the shadow sheets. The shadow sheets are the black pieces, and they just create an outline blackout for you to see the effect of the glow a little bit better. As you can see here, they block out the light, but they aren't really the glow in the dark sheets. You have to have the 10 white glow in the dark sheets for this device to work. Even if the markers still have juice and the glow-in-the-dark sheets are no longer available, you can't just replace them with regular paper. You have to use the one from Crayola, and they are quite expensive to purchase, unfortunately. So essentially, you just color these, and then you activate them with the glow stick, and then you can construct them and start having them spin. So it comes with these different effects. You can see here, taking a look at the packaging, we have access to the glow markers, to the sheets that I was talking about earlier, and also to the base itself, which we'll take a closer look at. And also some clips. So taking a look at the sheets, these are essentially cutouts, and you cut these out for the shadow sheets on top of the glow paper for the effect to actually come into full effect. And we've created one here where we cut out all the pieces, popped them out, and it looks like this. And then afterwards, the actual glow base here requires AA batteries, and the battery life is actually quite good. It's a very slow mechanized motor on here. Effectively, you put the glow stand on the outer layer here, and then you put the glow paper in the inner layer, and when the device is turned on, it's going to spin round and round and actually spin your paper both the inside and the outside in opposite directions for the device to actually work, and it actually is pretty good. It makes a little bit of a sound, as you can see here. And this is a little bit annoying. We wish that there was a little bit more of a silent motor, but unfortunately it's not there. But it still works pretty well overall. The glow effect is definitely bright, definitely notable, but the effect only lasted around 3.5 hours in our testing, which is very much short for something that could have been a lot better and more cooler if it lasted eternally. We would have liked to see something like some glow-in-the-dark crayons, which just need some sunlight to recharge and to be able to be reused over and over again. We can't understand why Crayola only wants to make these one-time use and make them so expensive, but there's that. These clips will then be able to have different shapes popped out. You can clip them onto the sides and have different shapes glow. Taking a look at the markers, this is called the activator marker, and you basically color on top of the glow-in-the-dark effects for your color to come out. And it's a pretty thick marker, you can see here, and the actual colors come in orange, blue, yellow, and also green. The green version and the yellow version are the best markers. The blue and the orange are a little bit faded, and they don't offer as much usability to see. The tips are actually slightly whitish. They're just a felt tip, but after you color on them, water and the actual liquid comes out. So you need to press down firmly and start drawing a few times until the actual liquid is going to come out and the glow effect will be initiated. But you have to have the glow paper to use these markers. It's not just the markers that are doing the magic, unfortunately. Okay, so going on, a next glow product that we're taking a look at is the Glow Explosion Sand. This is a sand-based project, also retailing at $20. You have mix and pour contents of these glow contents, and then you can put them together and then draw it on these poster papers that are included with a glue. So it's sand art that glows, but only lasts, again, 4 hours. The benefit of this, of course, is that it can still be used afterwards. It just won't glow, but you still have the sand color on the top. It works pretty well. It's essentially like a nightlight. It's like a glow stick broken apart and stapled onto the paper. It's a pretty cool art project as well. You have four different glow colors and glow stands, including the blue, the orange, the green, and the yellow, and all of them work effectively, and the actual advertisements are pretty much spot on for the glow effect. It's very cool. Unfortunately, though, it's not going to be as clean as these artworks are being shown because it's sand, so when you glow it onto the actual pieces of paper, the sand will fall off, and it's not going to be, you know, as clean as this. Don't know how they got it to be this clean, but you're going to have a mess, so make sure you have some material covering your surface when you're working with this medium. Taking like the contents of the box, again, we have access essentially to the four different packets of glow sand. This is the red version. You can see here, you mix the sand and the activator for the glowing together in order to produce the glow. And in order to mix them, you have these mixing trays. You can put the sand in here and the activator. You shake it around, and then you can pour it out. You can also use an included brush from Crayola, and they are actually pretty good brushes, actually, very quality made, and you can use these brushes to actually paint around using the glue and then glue it onto these sheets. Of course, we also have different colors here, including green, blue, and of course yellow, and again, here are the sheets. There's also an included matte box, like a pizza box, for you to actually cover up the sand so it doesn't spill everywhere, which is pretty thoughtful of the manufacturer. And overall, I would definitely say that this version of the glow sand activity is a little bit cooler and it works better in the long run than the actual than the previous version that we reviewed, which was the Spin Magic. Because on paper, even though the Spin Magic is cooler, this one has a better glow effect, and the long-term effects of playing around with this is actually a lot cooler. Of course, Crayola states that these are non-toxic, but you know, who really knows, right? They are glowing, so make sure you wash your hands after you play around with them. And again, the effects are pretty cool, included ones. And the last one that we're going to go on with is actually the same thing as the previous glow sand. Again, it's another glow sand product, but if we take everything out here, it comes in slightly different packaging because it's called the Glow Explosion Sand Art. And instead of having a template to glue things on, now you have these simple templates like glass sculptures that you can pour things in and create glowing sculptures in the dark. This one is not as cool as the sand art. Even though it's a cleaner way, you're not going to get your mess everywhere. It's like it's kind of like a nightlight that only lasts around 4 hours. And it's a pretty cool nightlight, but the actual stands are actually very small. As you can see here, they're not as large as the images are showing them out to be. The glow is also a bit weaker than the Glow Explosions, the sand art version that we reviewed earlier, and we would recommend that one over this one. The contents for the stand are also slightly smaller, but overall you also have red, you have access to the green and the blue as well, and you have again the mixer, but you just have these different templates for you to use and to pour the sand into. And again, around $20 of a retail value. So overall, the Crayola Glow Explosion lineup of glowing in the dark stuff are cool, but at the end of the day, we don't think that they're the most practical craft idea or tech tool that you can play around with, simply because they're one-time use like glow sticks. But if you really are in an emergency and you only want to use this for one time, then glow sticks will provide more instant gratification than having to mix things around, chemically speaking. So thanks for watching this video review of the Glow Explosions by Crayola.